going to change your business. This is our cost per lead. We're going to change, you know? You need to have someone in your company that is collaborating like consistently. But you can't do that if you're just relying on some outside marketing company. They want to kind of buy their way out of the marketing problem. Like, that doesn't work. So you need, we call it a new solution to the old problem. It's just a different way of looking at it. By far, the most common question I get asked is, who can I pay for leads? What marketing agency should I hire? How do I get more leads in my business? And more times than not, those questions are coming from somebody in their first or second year that's done no brand building, no marketing, have no idea what's going on when it comes to marketing a roofing company. And today we're here with Joseph Hughes. He's by far my favorite marketer in the roofing industry, and that's because he approaches being in the marketing space and roofing in a different way. So, Joseph, what is your background in marketing? How did you get into marketing? And then what made you pivot to the Contractor Dynamics model?
Cool. Well, call me Joe, by the way. Whatever you want.
Joseph.
That's cool. So quick background. Grew up in my family's construction business in New Jersey and New York City. That company started in the 1850s. So I grew up in that business as a 6th generation family member. Got to learn a lot. Worked outside the shipyard. It's like maritime construction, things like that. Worked in the office for 10 years. Got to learn about business. And then in 2012, I left because I had that entrepreneurial itch and I wanted to start something on my own. I'm grateful for the experience and all that, but I just, as you know, most people watching, listening will recognize that's something that we can't deny, right? So I wanted to go out and see what I could do on my own. So had a construction background, passion for marketing, business degree, which is really not worth much until you actually get into business, as you know, and combine those things. And we started working with all sorts of contractors in 2012. And then 2017, 18, we started niching down into roofing specifically.
What made that happen?
Nick Forcell. I just did a post about this a couple of weeks ago. So Nick is now a good friend. Was one of our first clients in New Jersey back in 2012. He moved to Texas in 2016, and he said, "Hey man, come down here to Texas. I'll introduce you to a bunch of my roofing company owner friends," because he's in Dallas. So it's there's a million roofing companies. So I flew down there August 2017, so 8 years ago. Flew down there. He introduced me to a bunch of people. My mind was blown as to how big the roofing industry is, and it still is, honestly. But I had no idea. And so we're like, wow, this industry is amazing, full of entrepreneurial people that are like, getting after it. I want to be a part of this. So we just started referrals. It kind of snowballed from there. And kind of end of 2018, I had a business partner at the time. We were like, man, let's just focus on roofing for the next couple of years and see what we can do. And here we are 7 years later, and we're 100% roofing.
But when you started, you were just a traditional marketing agency.
Yeah,
you weren't
for
a marketing
contractors.
coach.
It was always Contractor Dynamics from day one.
Right.
So it was all sorts of contractors, a lot of remodeling, HVAC, you name it, whatever. Whoever wanted to give us money, right? We figured it out at the beginning. That's what you do. But I'm always a fan of niching down and specializing so that we can really help our clients win and we can develop our processes internally. So I'm grateful that we found the roofing industry.
And then how many years were you actually running ads for people and running their marketing before you switched to, all right, let me back up. I need to train these guys on how to be a marketer themselves. And what made you make that switch?
Great question. So 2013 through 19, we ran the full service agency. So SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, blogging, like all of those things, right? It was pretty easy back in the day. 2015, 16, 17, yes, a roofing company could be like, all right, I want 30 leads a month. I want to hire Contractor Dynamics or XYZ marketing company, and they could run Facebook ads or Google and produce those leads at $200 a lead. And I'm going to close half of them. And oh, sorry, I thought you were waving at me. And they could produce those leads at $200 a lead. I'm going to close half of them. The math equation was pretty easy. This is back in like 2015, 16, 17, where social media was just kind of young still. There weren't that many roofing companies out there. There weren't roofing company owners like you that were, kind of educating other roofing companies. So it was very, very young, right? So that was pretty easy. But then 2018, there was, just started being more guys like Gary Vee talking loudly about marketing, more roofing companies and contracting companies coming online. It started to get harder and harder. So you can no longer run stock videos or stock photo ads and expect to get results. So we started coaching our clients on doing video. Like I remember I'd be in our office and I'd actually do the video and I would send it to our client.
Oh, make
be like,
this.
Brett, just
this
do what
video.
I just did, but like on a roof in Ohio or wherever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we started building out this training to basically help our clients be better clients so we could actually help them win, which is one of our core values. And it was about 2018, 2019, we started like seeing this trend. Like we had this bucket of clients that were paying us every month and they were doing well, like getting good results, right? Then we had this other bucket of clients that were paying us every month and they were not getting great results. So we kind of analyzed like what's going on here. And the ones that weren't getting great results, they were the ones that just wanted to like stroke a check or, get their credit card charged and like have us make their phone ring. And they just wanted to be hands off, and that just didn't work anymore. So we ended up, parting ways with some of those clients, helping some of them kind of level up. And then end of 2019, we kind of flipped the switch, and we said, let's go all in on trainings. That's really what companies need, right? They can go out there and hire a marketing agency, but if they don't know what they're doing, they're just going to waste their money. So we went all in on the training. And we've been doing that for 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, I found you guys, and I think I got lucky. It's not even that I was smart, but I'm just like a stubborn do-it-yourselfer. So when I saw your videos and I saw your model and what you're doing, it's like, hey, no, I'm not a marketing agency. I'm not going to run your ads, but I'm going to show you how to be your own marketer. That just appealed to me because I'm like a do-it-yourself guy.
Yeah.
But then 7 years later, I don't really have many hats in the business anymore. I haven't been in the office in weeks, if I'm being honest, just like Zoom meetings with my leaders. But I spend the most hours in a day in the marketing department still. And a lot of what you guys taught me is still in my brain in marketing. So if anyone likes what I say in marketing, a big piece of it came from you. It's hard when you're early on to like do the brand building and build the reputation and, like you say, become 5 Mile famous. I see Tim Hook hopping on that train too. He's kind of throwing some gas on your...
There are a few that are hopping on that. So I'm writing my book, 5 Mile Famous,
Yeah.
and I need to get it out so that I can kind of stamp that phrase.
I can vouch. You were the first one to say that. I can guarantee it. Although I saw on Tim's podcast you did with him, I don't know if that was recent, but he gave you credit for it on his podcast.
Yeah.
But he is using it. But it's back to what I was saying. It's hard when you're early on and you really want leads, because without leads we have no business. So like, you want to spend money and get leads. It's hard to put money over here into like the brand building stuff, the wrapping the trucks, the social media manager, filming content, doing all the things that make you 5 Mile famous.
Yeah.
What would you say to the roofer? Because like that stuff is important, but they don't see any results from it.
It's really hard. And like you are, you're kind of a rare, roofing company owner where you get that, right? You're willing to, you have the patience to see that vision and invest in that and know that it might not pay off for a little bit, right? But there are things that kind of pay off right away. Like you've talked about in your content, like having a unique brand, right? Like not naming your company AK Roofing that no one's going to remember. So like that's part of it. Video content, it's free. Like Gary Vee talks about it. These social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever, they're free. It's free, right? Now, you're not going to reach a lot of people if your content sucks. So that's why you have to work on your craft.
But your content is going to suck. My content sucks. So I hear all the time, like, I can't get on camera like you, bro. I'm not meant to. And like Ernesto can vouch, he's behind the camera. He's been here since the beginning. I was terrible, bro. I would get nervous. We'd have to do 50 takes. Like nobody just naturally goes on camera and starts talking and is good at it.
Yeah, I'm nervous right now.
Right.
I've been doing this for 12 years.
So if you start early, eventually the content will not suck. But like if you don't start, you're always going to suck.
But your content's going to be real, and like authenticity is the word that get thrown around there. But like it's true, like it's real. And then you've talked about it where you do those neighborhood videos where it's not the polished video that an editor is doing, right? It's just the raw selfie, like I'm in this neighborhood type thing. Those things work and those are free, right? So a lot of roofing company owners want to kind of buy their way out of their marketing problem. Like, I'm not a marketing guy. I'm not a, finance guy. I'm a roofer. Like, I'm just going to focus on that. I just want to pay someone else to solve that problem for me. That doesn't work, right? And the companies and maybe a lot of people watching this can resonate with that because they've tried that. they've jumped around from agency to agency, buying leads, doing this and that, and it's not working, right? So you need, we call it a new solution to an old problem. It's just a different way of looking at it. So invest your time and energy, and don't invest your money. And people are like, man, I don't have time, I don't have money because I'm new and starting out. Just got to figure it out. Like it's Alex Hormozy calls it the swamp, because it's not fun. Like you just need to work 15-hour days if that's what it takes. But like that's kind of what it takes sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough to read an Instagram DM or a Facebook message where you've got the new guy. He's never reached out before. He's reaching out to the first time. He gives you his little story on like where he's at, why he started his business, what year he's in. And then the only question that is asked is, hey, where's the best place to get leads? And like it's an Instagram DM, and I'm like, there's no way to answer this. And this is why I reach out to you, because like the truth in marketing a roofing company is honestly bad news for a lot of people, because it's just a lot of work. Yeah. It takes a lot of time, but at the end of the day, it ends up paying off. There's so many different arms of business or arms of marketing that makes marketing work, and everybody wants to do the pay part, but nobody wants to do the work part. Like right. Speed to lead. How are you fielding calls? Like I'm sure you've seen that's a giant issue. Yeah. How are we producing content? Yeah, that's your job. There's no marketing agency that's going to come in and do all those things for you. You have a part to play. So you can't just pay somebody that's going to change your business. You have to learn how to do it.
I love to like ask this question of people, like, why would you think as a roofing company owner, as any business owner, that someone outside your company that might be like 2 time zones away can produce better customers for your business than you can? Like if that's the case, then like that's a huge problem, right? Like that doesn't happen. Like that's not supposed to happen. Like you should be able to produce your own customers. And sure, hire outside agencies to pour fuel on the fire, but like you've got to be out there doing your, doing your neighborhood things, your community involvement, your videos, your direct mail. Like you've got to be like driving that strategy. No one else is going to do that for you, right? You've got to take ownership of that.
That's a huge point, because we all know, especially if you're early on, the neighborhood targeting is like the biggest lever you can pull to make sure that your marketing spend is effective. It's like, I know that we've already done 4 neighborhoods in this really nice gated community, so let's target this gated community. Well, you can't do that if you're just relying on some outside marketing company to come in and make sure you're targeting the right neighborhoods. They don't know the right neighborhoods. They don't have a pulse in your business. So like if you own the marketing strategy and you think about it, it's obvious. Oh, this neighborhood has 1,000 homes in it. We're just starting to do roofs. We've done 4 already. Let's hit them with a postcard. Let's hit them with Facebook ads. Let's hit them with everything. Yeah. But paying somebody to do it for you, you're never going to achieve that. And that's the #1 way to keep your marketing spend low in the beginning when you don't have a big marketing budget, is to be hyper targeted. But whose job is it to do the hyper targeting?
Whose job is it? It's the owner's job. And if it's not, like you're a marketing minded guy, right? So like you did it, right? There's some other roofing company owners that maybe that's not them, but it's got to be someone in your company, right? It could be a marketing manager in-house. It can be a spouse, a kid. One of our clients in Idaho, his mom is doing his marketing for him. He's like a 22-year-old kid, Like someone in your company's got to be doing it.
That's an important thing to bring up, because I think a lot of early business owners, they don't think they have money to hire a marketing person. Yeah. But like marketing is the most important department in your business. Like you don't have a business if you don't market it and no one knows who you are. Right. So why are we so stingy with our money? Like we'll hire the project manager and the permit coordinator before we go out and hire the marketing person, when like if you think about it, that really makes no sense. So in my case, I became the marketing person at that early stage where I only had a few team members. Yeah. But if I wasn't going to be the marketing person, I would have had to hire for it. Yeah. So like you're right. If you're not the marketing person, just like buck up and know you have to hire for that because your business needs it. Yeah. Honestly, more than maybe any other position, arguably.
Right. And you're better off, if you're going to spend, the same guys, not everyone, but like a lot of the same guys, like, oh, I'll spend $3,000 or $5,000 a month on this random like lead gen company, but you won't spend $3,000 or $5,000 a month to hire an in-house person that can like really drive your brand and do marketing every day, right? If you're hiring an agency and you've been there, they're only going to be working on your account for a handful of hours a month, right? You hire a full-time person, you've got them for, 40 hours or, more a month, a week.
You just sparked a really good thought as far as agencies. Like I use agencies still today. I've used them my whole career. Yep. But there's a couple pieces with working with agencies. One, it's how educated are you on what they're doing?
Yes.
And if you have no idea what they're doing, then those Zoom meetings you do, those strategy meetings, those reporting meetings, or to let you know how things are going on, you have zero input, which goes back to what we were saying. You need to strategize and understand like what you're doing in marketing. Where are we sending postcards? Where are we sending magazine mailers? Who are we targeting with Facebook ads? What type of content are we targeting? What landing pages are we sending them? Well, how's our speed to lead? Like, how is the performance of all the lead sources? You need to have an idea. You don't need to be like so dialed in on all the numbers, but like you need to have a grip on what the agencies are doing for you to be able to work effectively with them. So like my Zoom meetings with agencies, I'm sure that my agencies are pretty impressed with like how much we know and how much input we're giving them. And we're dialing in our strategies together as a team. Yes, I pay them to run my ads, but like we have a giant say in what we're doing. To where if I didn't have the knowledge, a lot of which I gained working with you guys early on when you guys were training me, I wouldn't be able to work with these agencies and I would just be trusting them to change my business because I've done that and that does not, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'm guilty of it too. Like as a marketing company, we've hired, agencies and things like, cause you can't turn every dial and pull every lever on your own. Right. And I've been guilty of like, I just don't have time to deal with them. They can do their thing. And then you turn around 3 months later, like, oh crap. Right. But you got to take ownership of that. Cause like, I didn't manage them. I didn't work with them. I didn't collaborate with them.
Yeah. That makes me think of strategy in marketing versus activity, like work. So like, if I find an agency and they tell me that they are PPC experts, they've done PPC for this many companies, they've gotten this results with these people, so they have the strategy and the experience in PPC. Okay, they have the knowledge. Yeah. But in my opinion, the activity in the PPC campaigns is as important or maybe more important because if I'm committed to daily activity and maintaining my PPC account, I'm testing different things, I'm putting in negative keywords, I'm tweaking and optimizing the account, and then over time, our performance is just going up and up and up. Yeah. Whereas if I have the best PPC strategy in the industry, but I set it and forget it, I'm not paying attention to what's going on, and I feel like we get into that problem with some agencies because agencies have a hard time scaling just like roofers do, so like, they can have the experience and the strategy and then set your accounts, but if we're not A/B testing and constantly tweaking and doing the maintenance that the accounts need, well then our performance is going to stay down here. Yeah. So like it's a tricky thing for me to talk about with people because like there's good agencies out there, but like I don't know that you're going to get the most for your buck by hiring these big name agencies.
Well, we talked about pre-roll, like it's gotten harder, right? It's gotten a lot harder and it's getting more expensive, Google ads and things like that. They've gotten more expensive, which means that you've got to be on it, like we've started running meta ads for our clients. We have a handful of clients and we're seeing like, okay, we're spending a couple hours, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours a week on each client. And sometimes I feel like that's not enough, right? Because things are changing. You can look at the data. You can just obsess over it. You can change headlines. You can test things. You can swap in new videos. There's so many things you can do, right? Speed to lead is huge. There's a lot. So you need to have, if you hire an agency, you need to have someone in your company, in your roofing company, that is collaborating like consistently. Because an owner, you might be, again, you're rare, right? An owner's not going to be able to give them that attention, Yeah. It takes a lot of tweaking. There's a lot of moving parts. And a lot of companies out there think that like, oh, I can just, I'm running this one Facebook ad. It's not working. Like companies that are doing well with it, they're running 30 Facebook ads, right? And they're testing different things. It's not just like you put one thing out there and just like hope that it works. Again, that used to work 10 years ago. It just does not work these days.
Yeah. You're in a unique position where you've been inside a lot of roofing marketing departments, training them on how to do it. You've taken on, I don't know how many clients, a bunch of clients. You guys trained me well, but I'm sure you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of trying to build a real marketing department inside a roofing company, an in-house marketing department. Yeah. So what are the companies that get it right doing versus the companies that just fizzle out and can't figure it out?
The companies that fizzle out, I'll answer that one first, is the owner is kind of like, hey, I hired this in-house marketing director, manager good, solve my marketing problem, I'm good, see you later, right? And they kind of abandon that person, they're not involved. So that's a huge red flag. And then that marketing manager's on an island because they're young, they're like 25 years old, they don't know what they're doing. Sure, we can train them, we can coach them, but they still need that input from the owner. Marketing being separate from sales, right? You want marketing and sales to be your revenue department. You guys should be meeting together, right? What are the objections we're hearing at the door? What hesitations do people have? Why aren't people buying? What do people want? They want financing. Why are people going with us? Why are people paying more for us than like the other guy? Put that into your marketing content, right? Having that, we talked about it, before we started rolling here, having that strategy, and then also being able to look at the data on a regular basis, having weekly marketing meetings, looking at your marketing scorecard, looking at as many metrics as you can in the micro. Some of that stuff is not trackable, right? We're talking like billboards, and we're talking like brand awareness ads. So then you have to look at the macro on like, okay, well, we did more activity in Q3, or we did more activity in 2025. How did that result in more revenue, higher close rate, higher profit margin, better referrals, more reviews, whatever that might be. So, there's a lot that goes into that. It comes down to like focus time in marketing, just like any other department, right? You want to improve your profit margin, then dig into your books, right? Want to improve your sales process? Well, dig into your sales process and your training, your SOPs and all that. It's not that complicated. It just takes a concentration of focused effort, if that makes sense.
100%. And when you're helping these roofers build marketing departments, let's think about the guys that get it right, and the guys you see growing year after year, and the guys that are involved, the owners involved. Maybe there's an in-house marketing person that's growing. What duties in the marketing department do you recommend people leave in-house versus hire agency for?
Strategy's got to be in-house, right? Like, here is where we're at right now. Here's where we want to go over the next year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. What's it going to take? Are we going to stay in this town? Are we going to expand to this, throughout the county, these other areas, open up a different office like that? You need to start with the end in mind, right? You need to have that strategy. Creating a budget, that's, somewhat hard to do if you're just kind of like trying to come up with something out of thin air. It might be 5%, 10%, whatever. There's a lot of companies out there that are overspending. There's a lot of companies that are underspending. So getting some guidance on what that looks like. Your in-house, your video content is going to be like, that's something that you need to do in-house. Yes. So having that video capability in-house, that might not be a full-time videographer. That might be like your freelancer that comes out every month and does like a half a day or a day shoot. That's what we do, right? Mm-hmm. With Corey, our local guy, that comes out. What's that?
He's been dying for us to get more efficient with the content because we've been bad. It's like, hey, meet us out here. Hey, meet us out here. Hey, film.
Yeah.
So we don't batch very well.
So so here's what you do. You set up a day. You have like,
he doesn't need to hear this.
3 or 4, well, no, not you, but like 3 or 4 nice builds in a day. You have a couple of clients that are willing to get on video and do a testimonial. You have your guy follow you around, and you knock out like a 3 months worth of content or a month worth of content in one day. Then that's content you could use forever. And by the way, get photos too, because it's one of those things in 2025. We beg our clients to like spend a few $100, get a photo shoot, get some photos in front of your trucks, your team, your brand, like your yard signs, like all of that stuff. Like that is huge for marketing. Your website, social media, print advertising, whatever it is, like that's huge. So the content game has to be in-house. Sure, hire someone to run your Meta ads, your Google ads, hire someone to do your direct mail, but that strategy has to be in-house. So we call it being, and other people have started using this term as well.
I've heard that too.
Okay.
I saw that recently.
So we call it being the general contractor of your own marketing. Is that what you're, okay. Mm-hmm. So you're the general contractor of your marketing, right? So you are, you're building a building, right? You're coming up with the blueprint, right? You have the budget, you know what it's supposed to cost, and you go out and hire some subs, right? But the subs, when you hire them, you're having meetings, they're coordinated, there's a plan, there's a budget, there's accountability, you have control over everything, right? So just as in marketing, you have your plan, your budget, you go out and hire your marketing subcontractors, and you are, you're able to like lead and manage them and hold them accountable. LMA, which is an EOS term, lead, manage, hold accountable. That's huge. That is the model, right? So as a GC, you're self-performing some of that work, which is your video content and your strategy, and then you're hiring out the technical things, but you're working with them collaboratively.
It's a great analogy. That's why they're ripping it off. It is no, it's a perfect analogy. And you just spit back to me my marketing department. We obviously track how things are working. We come up with our budget. We hire the subcontractors. We do our own content. We send our own postcards. We send our own magazines. And then our subcontractors are doing all of our paid avenues.
Yeah.
But because the strategy comes down from us, we know everything's in a line, and it works perfectly that way. Like I don't need an in-house guy to be a PPC expert. I'm sure that could work if you had a guy, but like I don't need to build that arm in my business.
Yeah, it's gonna be expensive, and yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean and it's very doable for people if they just learn marketing.
But at the beginning, when you're small, you don't have money to go out and hire a great PPC company or a Facebook ads company. You've got to learn, just do it yourself. Like learn enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, we ran our own Facebook ads. I did them myself for probably 2 years. I ran them myself. Did I become the best Facebook campaign manager in the world? Of course not.
Yeah.
But we had good strategy. We definitely got our name out there. We got good visibility to the point where like I'll go places, and not as much anymore because Matt kind of is the front man. But
yeah.
Matt can go anywhere in downtown Stewart, and people they're just looking at him like, I know you, I know I know the mustache. And that's what you want. And then you add a bunch of trucks around the road, everybody's seeing you, and you're 5 mile famous.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because it's never just one thing, right? It's the Facebook ads, it's the direct mail, it's the trucks, it's everything that you're doing, it's the Chamber of Commerce, the BNI group, it's all of that. That's how your marketing department is built, right? So do you guys have weekly meetings, and you're looking at a scorecard and making decisions based on your data and things like that?
Yeah, so I recently hired a super technical guy. We meet with him daily. So every 4 o'clock we meet. Yeah, he's like always in the numbers. He's looking at our funnels. So like a funnel, if you don't know, is like when we send a lead from this Facebook ad, where are we sending them? How are we capturing the lead? Who's calling them? What are the automations involved? Yep. But like when you're doing 9 different marketing activities, there's a lot of funnels out there, and like keeping track of all that stuff is a super technical job. Yeah. So there's a very technical component of marketing. Yes. That I could never take on myself. Yep. But I would never suggest a roofing company owner take that on. But us as owners have the best strategy and have the best pulse on their business, because we've been here since day one. We know who our ideal customer is. We know who we are, how we position ourselves. We know what markets are working. We know all that stuff. So if we can pass all that stuff in our brain to the technical people that can actually do the marketing, well, then it can become very effective.
Yes. That's the visionary for anyone that follows EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. That's the visionary integrator dynamic. So visionary is usually the owner of the company. That's me, that's you. Our marketing director, Sydney, is extremely data-driven, like down to the penny on what we're spending, right? I never did, as the marketing director when I was doing it, like I never did that. It was like, oh, let's do some stuff and, hopefully it pays off, right? And it did, thankfully. But you have to have that integrator type person to look at the data.
What have you seen change since you started in coaching roofers on marketing to now? Like, what are some big changes in the industry, or some things people should be aware of? Do you think it's a different landscape, or you think the same things work?
Yes, it's a little both. It's a little both. I mean, it's going back to the basics, right? But doing the basics really well. So I was just talking about this with one of our clients in Jersey, Luke Braga, 2 days ago, right? When we started with those guys 4 years ago, no one at the Jersey Shore was doing video ads on social media. And it was a blue ocean, right? Now there's like 30 companies in our small 2-county area that I see on with good videos on Facebook and Instagram, right? So that used to be okay, I got to put my videos on Facebook and Instagram and run ads. That used to be a sure ticket to generating leads. Now that's everyone's doing that, especially with technology, all the apps, CapCut, AI, that is everyone's doing that. So now what is it? It's okay, I got to get better at storytelling. I have to get better at telling my story in 20 seconds, not 60 seconds. It's getting better at everything, which includes looking at the data to see what's working, what's not, and looking at the data, a few times a week, not just like a couple of times a month. So it's doing a lot of the same stuff, doing it better. Speed to lead is bigger than ever. Like that is huge, right? I'm shocked at how few of our clients, when they come on board, have that figured out. Like I'm shocked. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, if you think about how our attention span now, if I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling, and maybe I know I have a roof leak in the corner of my living room. I know it's been there. The ceiling's nasty. I know it's there. I see a Facebook roofing ad. I'm like, we should take care of the roof. And then I click it. If nothing happens after I click the ad or submit the form, if nothing happens, by tomorrow I'm back to avoiding the roof leak that's been there for 6 months. I don't care about it. I'm not answering your call. Leave me alone.
Right.
But if you get them when their mind is in the problem and you get them immediately, well, then you can book an appointment. And then like ways to do that is send a booking link, an automation of a booking link as soon as they fill out a form. Yeah. And now they can put it on their calendar immediately while they're in that state of mind.
Yes.
This is good news for young guys. And like we've talked about this recently. We got so good at video. Like he got amazing at editing. We were strategizing and scripting and like producing this super high quality video. And like recently I'm like, dude, I think we have to tone it down. I think we need to be more authentic. People are so used to seeing video on their phone, and like we're marketing to regular everyday people in our community. Like we don't need to come across like this giant corporation with this super high quality video, clearly a marketing ad, like where I think there's a place for just the selfie video in front of a job site that is going to hit harder than the super highly produced high quality video, which is good news if you're just starting out, because I think that stuff performs better. We're in the age of AI. There's all this tech. People like people. That's never going to go away. So like I think it opens up an opportunity to just like, dude, put some money behind a Facebook ad. Think of a hook. Put your phone in front of your face and just film an old school video, and that works now. Yeah.
I think there was a bell curve. I think it was like no one could edit those videos with the captions and things like that. I remember, I think it was 2022, we started doing that. John Cater, our video guy, was like, Joe, we should do this. I'm like, all right, let's do that. The captions, I remember people were reaching out to me. I'm not like an early adopter by any means. People were reaching out to me and be like, how are you doing those videos? They look amazing. They just had like the fluorescent, like green and yellow, red captions. And that was 3 years. That was only 3 years ago. Now it's like anyone can do that, right? So like then that got saturated, and that's such a great point. We have a client in Ohio that right now they're running about 50 different Facebook ads. They're not a giant company, but they're in it. Like they went through the training years ago with us. Now we're doing it for them a little bit because they just got overwhelmed, right? And they're testing like the fancy ones and then the selfie ones, and the selfie ones that are just raw, that are a little bit goofy. There's some wind noise, maybe the compressor's going in the background. Those perform really well.
Yeah, if I think about my history in roofing, like I would sell jobs in the beginning when I was out on the job selling to myself. Like I would sell jobs to people. I had like a super high closing rate because like people like dealing with like a small local business. Like this is roofing. Like the fact that you are a small local company builds trust just because that's who you are. Right. But then the bigger you get, you start to have like a little bit of a corporate feel. Yeah. But you still want to portray that like, hey, we're still a local family business. We've grown because we take care of people, but we're still just regular guys. Right. And if your content's too highly produced and too polished, I think just without trying to, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot.
That's a good point. Yeah, like the big box remodeling companies, like I don't want to name any names, but the big high pressure sales guys, the sales organizations, basically. Yeah, you don't want to be lumped into that, right? Yeah, with some of those like polished videos, that can make you seem like you're not a roofing company. You're like a sales organization. Yeah, and people get on their like on their heels about that.
100%. It's like with all the private equity companies coming into our industry, that's the biggest advantage we all have. Is like, dude, don't come off like these corporate giant conglomerates. Yeah, come off like your local family business, and because that's how you grew your business. That's how I grew my business. Yeah. Good reputation, people knowing us, and doing a great job for people. Which doing a great job for people is probably the most underrated part of marketing, because it's not necessarily marketing. Yeah. But like, there's so many different ways that like, if you truly have a great roofing company that takes care of their customers and every customer is happy, and I won't say every customer, roofing's hard, shit happens. You're building an insane belief in your sales team because they know they're selling for the best company in the area. They know it. And because they know it, homeowners are going to trust them. You're building a giant referral base of fans, which even with the marketing budget we have today, referrals is still our biggest lead source. It's like you have to be a good roofer. And I think the confidence to get on camera and be loud about your business and your community comes from knowing you're a good roofer. Because if you know you're not that good and your phone's ringing off the hook with customer complaints and you're behind and you can't communicate with people, you're just not going to have the confidence to get on camera and say like, hey, call us, we're the best roofer in town. You just can't. You'd be lying to everybody. So, and I think that's a big piece missing in people's marketing is that like they're forgetting the, hey, we're in the roofing business. You're supposed to be a good roofer in this business.
Right. I mean, your product is what you deliver to your clients. The roof, the client experience, that is your best marketing for sure. Yeah. And I've been in those positions where, you know, maybe we're going through some growing pains or we're overwhelmed. And like, I notice myself, I'll pull back on my content because I'm not as confident, right? And there's other times where I know we're locked in and we have capacity, we're ready to go. And I'm like, that's when my content's the best, when I have that conviction. You know?
Yeah, dude, 100%. Because like, it's hard to scale a roofing company. You're going to go through periods. We had one this year. First quarter this year, we skyrocketed. We grew by like 600 grand in a month in revenue. And like, we were holding there. And like, everything fell apart, dude. Like, so like, we were getting complaints. We always just do what we got to do to fix it. We take care of everything. But like, it's very stressful, and it gets the salespeople become uncertain, and like what you just said, you lose confidence in your message. You're like, what are we doing? Are we good at this? But then eventually you stabilize it and you got it back. But like that's the mojo of growth for me. For us, it's been. And like you mentioned Braga earlier, I don't know those guys. I've seen them online, but like just from the way they present online in their video, like I feel like I know in my head that they give an amazing customer experience. And I don't know anything about them. I've never seen them put a roof on.
You can't fake it. Yeah.
Exactly. And people pick that up.
And that's why video is so, and it's awesome that so many companies out there are doing videos these days, right? Because like video shows it. You can have your website or you can write some great ad copy or ChatGPT can write it for you, but you've got to show, like people can see that and feel it, you know? That's why video is so important.
I think it comes across that video is important because I think there's a new roofing company owner out there that sees guys like me making videos, guys like Braga, trust making videos. They see us out there doing it. They know it's important, but they still have like this hesitation around making videos. And I'm sure you've seen it with your clients. Like, how do you get people across that?
Well, part of it is that conviction that yes, we stand behind, like we're a great company. Part of it is identity. Like I'm not a video guy. I'm not a marketing guy. I'm a roofer, right? But you've got to break that. Like you said in your content, because I've watched a lot of your content, like I'm not a numbers guy, right? As far as the financial numbers of your business, but you learn it because you have to, because that's what a responsible business owner does. So it goes back to like having that vision, right? You're at 3 million, you want to get to 10, you're at 10, you want to get to 50, whatever it is, like that's going to be a piece of it and it's got to get done. And maybe that's not you as the owner. Maybe that's someone else in your company like you have now, which is awesome. But it's just gotta get done, right? Just think about your own buying behavior. Think about the companies that, you know, I'm talking to the audience now, like the companies maybe locally or otherwise that you give your money to, right? It's not like a faceless organization, right? Like you're seeing content, user-generated content, influencers, whatever it is. That's how we connect. Like that's how we connect these days. Yeah. It's just got to happen. I mean, it's got to happen. You just don't make excuses.
I remember being early and like everybody's probably in this spot. You're super shy and you have no confidence in business because you're just like early on, you're trying to figure things out. Everything's a whirlwind. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah. And you're shy because I was shy, but like, being an effective marketer is literally the opposite of being shy. Like you talk about being 5 Mile famous. Like if you're going to be 5 Mile famous, you need to be the loudest roofing company in your area. But how do you become that when you're just shy and you don't know if you're doing a good job and you're trying to figure things out? Yeah. I think that's like what the hesitation is. And then you just have to start, and then like eventually it gets more comfortable. But like a big reason for me is like even like wrapping the trucks. Like you're driving around, you're working, but you don't want to wrap the trucks because you don't want everybody looking at you. Like it's like you're like closed off, and it's like it's stopping you from marketing your business.
Yeah. So better answer to that, I just thought of while you were talking. I'll steal from Gary Vee. Document, don't create. Right. So you think you need to get on video, and you have you can't see the lights here and all this stuff, cameras. You don't have to like sit in a chair and like create this video like I do in my studio, or maybe you do as well, right? Just talk about what you're doing, like I said, whip out your phone. Everyone's got one. Hey, Andy called us out to his house today. He's had this leak that he's been worried about for a while. He wants us to look at it. We looked at it. We realized that the flashing is busted. We got to go back and we got to replace this, that, and the other thing. And now Andy has a peace of mind that he doesn't have to worry. It's August right now, or September right now. It's hurricane season. He's good. He doesn't have to worry about it, right? And just talk about that. Just document what you're already doing. That's a great way to get started because you don't have to be a creator.
Dude, those videos are so important. Because I made a video about this. There's so many reasons outside of leads and marketing to make videos in your business. Yeah. There's so many, and like the example you just gave made me think of this. We have so many technical videos from the past. And like, dude, those videos raise closing percentage because when 5 roofers go to a house and give a quote, and husband and wife are sitting there, they got the folders on the table, they're trying to make a decision, they start Googling everybody. Now, if you Google Foxhaven, you're going to see videos. You don't even have to go to Instagram to see the videos. You're going to see them right in the Google search.
Yeah,
so like, you search for us, you go down this rabbit hole of our videos, and you see like, we're roofing experts. We do this every day. Yeah. There's testimonial videos in there. And then they go to everybody else and they just search them and they don't see any video, no faces, no expertise, no nothing. So like, whereas that technical video of the flashing didn't bring a lead. Yeah. It's brought me who knows how many jobs, who knows how many people have picked us because they see that we're actually true experts.
And they don't know flashing, they don't know drip edge, but you know what they know? They know how they feel. Like, I feel good about these guys. I feel good that I'm not taking a risk in hiring Foxhaven because look at all these videos. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but like, look at all these videos.
That's a funny point. You could honestly say the incorrect, like non-roofing trade way to do something. You could be completely wrong.
Your roofer friends will yell at you on social media, but who cares, right? But yeah. I mean, not to say we're making stuff up, but yeah, they just want to feel certain. That's what people want, that feeling of certainty.
Another use for video that we have that people usually like hearing is when our appointment confirmation texts and emails go out, they go out with a video link on like what to expect in the appointment. Yeah. So now we have this high quality video, we call them customer journey videos, that goes out every time an appointment is booked. And we're starting to position our brand, let them know what to expect. We're starting to differentiate ourselves a little bit and just lead into the appointment. And then when the sales rep gets to the house, they have all the same messaging. So we just like continue to drive it home. Right. And then once we send an estimate, when an estimate is sent, send this video out. Hey, you just received your estimate. I know this could be like reading a second language, like, and we're just like guiding them through the process. Then a contract is signed. We send another video out. Hey, thank you so much for signing a contract. Here's what to expect next. Okay, we confirm their start date. Another video. Day before we start, another video. The day after we start, another video. We just passed final inspection, another video. So we have these customer journey videos that go out, and it's just like a nice touch. It makes you memorable. In the front end, it helps closing percentage. Right. And that has nothing to do with bringing us leads. It's just like a way that we use video to improve the business.
And people most people aren't watching those videos, I'm sure, but they see them like, okay, like, yeah, they're on top of it. I know if I do have a question, like, they're going to answer it, but I'm good. I don't need to watch a video.
Right.
Those are all the things that I would want to do if I started a roofing company. Like all those little, you ask like what's changed, that stuff hasn't changed, but that stuff is still very rare in the roofing industry. Like it really is. Like not that many companies are doing it. Yeah. It's wild.
There's so many 1% improvements.
Yes, exactly.
And like this is the big thing that I tell guys all the time. I'm like, I'm a little naively optimistic about changes in my business. So like I'll have this idea, or I'll see another guy doing something. I'm like, ooh, that's good. And then it may take me 16 hours in front of a computer working on the same thing to implement it in my business. And I'm like spending time and I'm like, this is going to be a game changer. And then you implement it and it's like, It's nice we have that, but it's like this tiny little improvement.
Right.
And like doing that over and over and over and over again is what
the multiplier effect.
Right, is what makes your business improve. So nothing's actually been a game changer. We like to say.
I mean, I don't have it. I'm sorry, audience. Like I don't have it. Yeah, it's those the slight edge of those little things that multiply.
Yeah, and I think I'm just so insane. Like even though that's happened so many times, I still seem to think things are going to be a game changer. And I think that's why I'll sit there for 16 hours and work on the same thing on the computer, because I'm like, oh, this is going to change it. This is going to change it. And then we have it and it's like, all right, it's a little better.
Well, like I'll bring it down to a tactical example. So like Facebook ads, for example. Okay. So you run a lead generation ad on Facebook. We want to see a link, like when someone's clicking on the button, right? We want to see a LCTR, link click-through rate of 1% or higher. Now, 1% doesn't sound like much, but when you're reaching tens of thousands of people, that can add up, right? So we want to see that as our benchmark at 1% or higher, right? If that's at 0.5%, and you can move that by writing better headlines and other things up to 1%, you can effectively double your lead flow from that one campaign just because you're changing like a headline or a word in a headline, right? So that doubles your lead flow from that particular campaign, and those little things make a difference. Yeah. But back to like marketing, like if you're set it and forget it or asleep at the wheel, you're hiring an agency that's not giving you the attention that you need, are they looking at that link click-through rate more than like once a month? Probably not, you know? So that's why bringing it back to like having that muscle, that in-house marketing knowledge to be able to look at that link click-through rate and be like, this has been at 50 or 0.5, it's way too low. That means our headlines are, not as good as they need to be. All those little things, they add up.
On the Facebook campaigns, because I have a similar mindset around why we use Facebook ads in our business as you do.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be a hard one.
We're in the world of. It was so funny the other day. I saw like a little clip about Tai Lopez, and I like forgot about that guy. But it was like talking about the history of Tai Lopez and like the first thing he was into, then this thing. So like it was like showing that like he's always just hopped on trends and like sold courses on whatever the new trend was. But it got to one in the middle of his journey where he was selling online marketing, like become a digital marketer. Okay. But he had a ton of followers. So like when I saw that, I'm like, I wonder, he probably had a part to play in like all these digital marketing agencies popping up and everybody wants to be a marketer. Right. But in the wake of digital marketing becoming like a fad and an easy way to like start a business from home, you have all these guys online constantly, if you're a business owner, that are like, oh, I'm doing this strategy on Facebook and we're getting 700 leads and we're making this customer $4 million a month. There's like, that is everywhere online if you're a business owner. And like, I see that even at this stage and I'm like, oh, they look like they're really good at Facebook ads. I wonder if they're good. But like, honestly, I think that Facebook is more for brand awareness, like a digital billboard where we can tell our story to our community. And I've just never made them convert to a level where it's like Facebook's like one of my top lead sources. It's just never been that way for me. I'm not saying that other guys haven't done that in their business, but like I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
It's rare. Yeah, it's not the norm. Again, it used to be pretty straightforward where that could be a thing. Nowadays, not so much. I mean, for a variety of reasons. You did a great video on this. There are companies that do it a lot in like the storm restoration industry where like you could do 20 roofs on a street, right? It's like pretty straightforward. So yes, you can generate leads from lead generation ads on Facebook, but not when you're running just like a lead generation campaign, right? The brand awareness is huge. The retargeting is huge. Those two kind of like bookends are huge. You have lead gen in the middle. It can work, but like don't base your entire success of your business off of your lead generation campaigns. It's a lot of pressure to put on like putting an ad out to someone that is, not looking for a roof. They don't need a roof. And you're hoping that you're going to generate, 100 leads a week for $100 a lead, right? It doesn't work that way. It's hard to articulate. Your brand awareness and your retargeting will help all of your marketing perform better. By being 5 Mile famous, you'll be that obvious choice, that top of mind roofing company in your market. And yes, you can generate leads from Facebook and our clients do it and they close deals from it. A lot of it's organic content, a lot of it's brand awareness content, retargeting, some lead gen is a part of it. It is not the whole strategy.
100%. I just wanted to touch on that because, like, at the end of the day, like, people reach out, they need leads, they don't have a brand, but they do need leads, and I'm sympathetic to that. I know we need leads.
Yes.
We don't have a business without leads.
Right.
But when I think about leads, I think about PPC and LSA as the two big ones. In our market, magazine mailers with a QR code to the instant quote tool is a big lead gen for us.
Yeah.
But I just never viewed Facebook as crazy lead gen. Of course, we make sales off of Facebook.
Yeah.
But I just have the brand awareness lens around it. And you mentioned retargeting. What would you say are best practices for retargeting? Let's talk about for our Facebook campaigns. Of course, we want to retarget people that have seen our past Facebook videos, but how else can we do retargeting?
So let's define retargeting. So we all know what it is. Maybe people don't know that term, right? It's when you go to a website. I always use like Yeti coolers, for example, right? You're on Yeti.com or Amazon. You're looking at that cooler you want to buy for fishing season. Maybe you don't buy it. Maybe you do. That's going to follow you around forever. Or like I just bought a Garmin watch. I was on Garmin's website for like way too long because like I was trying to evaluate which one. I was getting hammered with Garmin watch ads for like weeks, right? So we all know what it is. So it's when people are in that evaluation mode, they're watching your content, they're on your website, they're engaging with your social media, Facebook, Instagram. So we can build an audience in Meta, and our typical audience for our clients will be website visitors, people that have watched either 2 seconds or 15 seconds of your video content, specific videos, people that have engaged with your Facebook account and your Instagram account. Put those people into an audience, which is not a big audience. So a retargeting ad, a budget is usually like $5 a day, like $5 a day to be able to follow those people around on social media and other platforms as well. YouTube, Google, you can do it in a variety of places, right? So the idea is to follow them around so that when they are in that evaluation mode or they have that roof leak, but then they get busy and they forget about it, a week later, they're seeing your ad again, you're staying in front of them. Because most people, like, roof is a big purchase, right? It's not like you wake up on a Tuesday, like, hey, honey, let's get a roof today. Let's like see who's advertising what's on Facebook, right? You're doing your research, you're procrastinating because it's not something you really want to do, but you have to do it. It might take you months to make a decision. So with retargeting ads, you're staying in front of people until they're ready to make that decision. Yeah. And so the audience is people that have engaged with your video content. It could be all your videos or a portion of your videos, which I know is what you do, because you have kind of the 3 different cohorts, right? Like kind of the funny videos, the technical ones, and the culture videos. And then your website visitors, of course, landing page visitors, if they're on that Roof Quote Pro, that Roofle page on your website. It's powerful, and it's literally like $5 a day.
Yeah, 100%. And then one more thing you can do, and so this is when they talk about funnels. I never really understood a funnel. Like I got the idea, but like now at this stage of my business, like I'll value a cheap garbage lead just to get people into the funnel so that I can continue to throw stuff at them. Yeah. So like in our CRM right now, we probably have like 550 names of people that entered our CRM as a lead, but we never booked an appointment with. That's a lot of names. So we're pulling those lists and throwing them in all of our marketing, our geo-targeting, our Facebook ads, everything. So if you scanned a mailer QR code for me, you enter my lead as a system, we never got a hold of you, never booked with you, but you're going to see me on your Facebook too. Yeah. So like I'm guaranteeing that all these people know who we are. You're guaranteeing it because you're always getting put in front of people, and that's the technical side of marketing that people like us need help with. I don't know how to build landing pages and automations and like the funnels and get everything coming into my CRM perfectly and getting the list into all the different campaigns. Like that's the technical side of marketing that I've tried to explain to a few guys recently that like, hey, because I'll tell them about my technical hire and I'm like, dude, you think you're far away from that, but like this is what this guy does for me and this is how it benefits my business, and you're going to pay an agency $6,000 a month in agency fees. Like you can hire this person now, and now you have that in your business.
And they should be driving an ROI like pretty quickly. If they know what they're doing, like within months, they should be paying for themselves. Yeah. If not, you're probably the wrong person. 100%. But and also on that point, like this is not really marketing, it's more sales. But you should be calling that warm list too. All those leads, we started doing that honestly just this year. Not cold calling, but like calling our warm list. It's been huge, huge.
Yeah, and that's a battle all of us roofers have, is like the inside sales activities.
Yeah.
Like a lot of roofing companies don't even have inside salespeople, which you should get one, because like so many names get lost in the system. So I just gave 550 names of people we haven't booked yet. But then what about the list of names of people we did book with, signed a quote with, and went dead? And an easy thing you can do to kind of dig some of those names loose was text blast.
Yeah.
The email blast for us kind of just, they don't do anything for us. We still send them, but I almost think it's a waste of time. The text blasts work.
Yeah.
So we'll just send out it'll be real short and sweet. So like we try to build curiosity, build urgency in taking care of the offer, and we make the offer mysterious. That's the curiosity part. So like, have a few spots left in the schedule for September.
Yep.
Trying to get some people on the calendar, whatever. Reply sept for September, to see if you can get on the list. And people answer. So like we'll send it and we'll have like 140 people reply on like a Thursday afternoon. And like, dude, some of them are 2-3 years old. Like they got a quote from you, they're in your system, send out a little MailChimp text blast. And now you're like, oh, wow, they didn't get a roof yet. They're 3 years old. Let me move them into a different status so we know to stay in touch with these people. Yep. And like we make sales from that all the time. And that's just a text blast. It's super easy to do.
Yeah. And that technology is, everyone has access to it. Yeah. It's just a little bit of know-how to figure that out, right? The moving parts. Mm-hmm. You don't want to overdo it, right?
Yeah. I heard somebody say recently, and I agree with it, I can't remember where I heard this, is as far as like your automations, your reach outs, your texts, if people aren't telling you to stop bothering them, you're not sending enough. But I kind of agree, because you're going to piss some people off. Like, I don't really like that kind of stuff coming to my phone. Yeah. But like if you're making sales and like rehashing all these old opportunities, and like let the guy be frustrated, man. He probably wasn't your customer anyway. Don't stop because 7 people replied stop to the mass text. Yeah. 140 people answered wondering about the offer, and now you know all these people are still in play, and now you treat them different. So like I think if you're doing it right, I think you should be bothering some people.
Yeah, we actually did it this week. So we're running a webinar today in a couple of hours. We send 4 emails to our list and then 1 text message. So 4 emails, 1 text. And we get replies like stop, unsubscribe. Even though there's an unsubscribe link at the bottom of everything, they just reply stop. And I see it in my inbox. And I used to take that personally. But now I'm like, no, because, and it goes back to having conviction in that you offer a great product and a great service. Because it's like, I'm doing a disservice to those people that might need our help if I'm not letting them know about our webinar or the thing that we're doing or our great, roofs that we can put on, right? So if you have that conviction and you know like that you're solving that problem of helping people like really get a great product and client experience, and you're holding back, you're kind of doing them a disservice. It gets a little philosophical, but like that's a big driver.
For sure. For sure. Well, I've said that you guys have taught me a lot about marketing. How do you onboard? What does it look like when people are like, you know what? They're right. I need to learn how to market my roofing company. Let me reach out to these guys. What happens next?
What happens next is we have a marketing clarity call. So one of our other kind of taglines is from chaos to clarity, or chaos to confidence. So we have a marketing clarity call where we'll ask you a few questions about what's going on in your business, what you want to do, where you want to go, what you have in place in terms of marketing. And then if if that's what you want, which is, still most roofing companies are like, nah, I don't want to do that. I just want someone to do it for me. Like, all right, maybe we'll see you back in a couple of years after you go spend a bunch of money on those other guys, Not that we're perfect by any means, but we have a couple of training programs, which you've been through, where you get like hands-on, one-on-one marketing trainer to like coach you and guide you on a weekly basis. We have kind of DIY courses that you can go through on your own. And then we also have kind of a hybrid where we will build out we call it your marketing engine. Like we'll build out your strategy. We'll build out your marketing plan with you. We will build out your initial like brand awareness ads, retargeting ads, and things like that, and hand it over to you to run, or we can continue to run that with you. So we don't have anything that's really like, hey, you're hands off, Mr. Roofing Company owner will handle everything. It's either like we're training you on how to do it and coaching you and holding you accountable, or we're kind of doing it with you. We're doing some of the technical work and we're handing you the playbook so you can work with us on that.
Yeah, in my opinion, every new business owner should be calling you for your program, because like if we don't learn how to market, I couldn't work with agencies until I learned marketing myself. So like I got on with you guys. You pushed me to do content. We started doing content. This was around that time. Then I started to learn how to run my own Facebook ads. Then I started to learn how to track my Facebook ads. What metrics are important? All right, how to A/B test. All right, there's lead gen ads, there's brand awareness ads. What are my goals here? And like I just followed that trend, and then it came time to hire my in-house marketing person because I didn't have one. I was that person. Right. And then you guys gave me like job descriptions, where to find them, how to interview for them, what should they do, how to onboard them, 30, 60, 90-day plan. So you guys taught me how to build a marketing department, on a base level, like you taught me how to build a marketing department. We've made a lot of changes since we left you guys, but now we have a full-blown in-house marketing department like you described. But I don't think it would have taken a lot longer. It would have been a lot more expensive if I hadn't gotten with you guys and let you show me how to do it, for sure.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, and you did the work. So, I mean, we're the guide, you're the hero, the whole story brand script. But it's so funny what you just mentioned, because there's so many companies that are looking for that quick fix, right? And I talk about it in my content, but maybe I don't always articulate it the right way. But like the longer that you are hopping around from like trying to find the magic solution, you're just like delaying your progress. Like
it's the magic agency. Everybody's hopping around looking for the magic agency, and that's why I said you're my favorite marketer in roofing, because you're the only guy that's not lying to people and saying that your agency is going to change the game. You just tell them the truth. It's like, dude, your business needs to know how to market itself. All real companies know how to market itself. Yes, we use agencies, but you need to have a say. I'll show you how to do it. That's it. If you want to do the work, you can change your business. If not, you're stuck. You're the only guy saying that. Everyone else is like, we're going to change your business. This is our cost per lead. We're going to change. It's just not true. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I've caught myself using some of that language over my 12 years, right? And it just doesn't feel good, because it's not the truth. Right. It's just, you got to be authentic.
100%. Guys, call Joseph Hughes. Let him teach you how to be a marketer. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.